Hello, everyone, and welcome to a playoff preparation edition of the 2024 Oregon High School Football Clips of the Week training video brought to you by the OSAA. As always, we're not looking to embarrass or call out any officials, association, player, school, or a coach. Simply trying to get better as we work towards one rule, one interpretation, and one mechanic. All clips have been reviewed and all rulings are from Oregon SRI Kevin Hatfield. This week we are looking at a variety of different plays, some basic ones as we prepare for the playoffs, and a few more that might provide some challenges as we go through the remainder of the season. With all of that said, let's get into this week's Clips of the Week. The first few clips we're going to look at are a reminder of some points of emphasis from last year. And the first two we'll look at involve possibly aiding the runner. And on this first clip, before we roll it, we just want to look at some basic positioning and mechanics. This crew is utilizing the traditional umpire position on the defensive side of the ball. The referee is in good position, good depth and width. The back judge, we suggest going a little bit to their right. The offense has three receivers to the left-hand side of their formation, which would be the strength, and that's where the back judge would have their initial keys. We'd suggest being a little bit to the right because as of right now, they are a little straight-lined with the umpire. The line judge, we'd recommend being back a yard or two off the sideline. The ball is being snapped from position 1, and as such, we have a compressed side of the field over there. And if a play were to go that direction, you'd want to get deep. Likewise, it looks like there is either some people or possibly some sort of obstacle in the way that is around the 2 or 3 yard line. We'd want to make sure that gets clear to give you ample opportunity to work deep should the play go that way. But on this play, we're going to see that the crew calls a foul for aiding the runner, and it is a good call. We're going to see this from both the sideline and the end zone view. So excellent call here by the referee and the line judge. Just a reminder that this is a live ball penalty. It's a throw and go, as we say. This foul would be administered from the spot of the foul. Excellent job by this crew. So on this play, we're also going to have some question about whether there is aiding the runner or not. But there are actually 3 things that we want to look for on this play. So we're going to go ahead and just let this run, and then we'll go back and take a deeper look at this. So now let's look at this from the beginning. And we're snapping from the 6 yard line going in. So while the wings won't necessarily go all the way to the pylon, their first movement should be that direction. And we're going to notice the head linesman does that. But there are 3 things that we want to look for on this play. First off, as this play develops, let's watch the action by number 53 of the offense. It certainly looks like he is throwing a punch or two here. And if he's hitting his opponent, we would have a foul for striking, which is a foul that would result in the disqualification of this player. Now, secondly, our head linesman comes in with their hand up, but they do not blow the whistle. It certainly appears here that we have forward progress stopped and the running back stood up. But the crew allows this play to go on. And now we have this giant scrum here. And it certainly looks like there's the potential that the offense is directly pushing and or pulling on the runner and into the end zone. The crew ultimately gets together and calls this a touchdown. But again, we look at this and say, was the offensive player striking their opponent? Was forward progress stopped? Was this aiding the runner? Let's take a look at a couple basic plays, but just a reminder of our mechanics. we see a lot of swing passes. And just a reminder that the mechanic right now is that the wing in which the direction the pass is heading towards, they're responsible for determining the direction of the pass. A forward pass caught behind the line of scrimmage would result in a forward punch. A backward pass would result in a backwards punch. So let's watch this first play here. And this is clearly a forward pass. So we should be signaling this incomplete. But now we get a weak punch towards the back. Now, it looks like the offense is the one to recover this, but this should be an incomplete pass. Now, again, the primary official to call this would be the wing that the ball is heading towards. However, the offside wing, if they had a clear view of this, if this was in fact ruled a fumble that was recovered by the defense, they could come in and be a crew saver. But we would want that official who's coming in to be coming in after the fact, because we don't want different signals. And what we're going to see here is that the head linesman punches backwards on this play, and then we have the line judge punching forward. So as a reminder, this was not caught. So the line judge here, you would not punch, but rather simply give a strong incomplete signal. But if we go back and we look here and we have the head linesman punching backwards, now this causes some doubt. We have one official ruling one thing and one official ruling the other. So as a reminder, on this play, the line judge would be primary, the head linesman would be secondary. And we don't want to have conflicting signals. So with the playoffs coming up, it's likely that we're going to get some trick plays. And one thing that we always ask coaches in our pregame meeting is if they have any special formations or trick plays that we should know about. We do this for a couple of reasons. One, we want to be prepared for any unusual play or formation so that we can best officiate the play. Secondly, allows us to have the opportunity to talk through that play or formation with the coach to make sure that everything is legal. So we want to make sure that we're on the same page. And so coaches, when we ask you, it's imperative that you are honest and forthright with the crew to make sure that they are aware of anything special you have going on that night. Now, with that said, on this play here, we're going to have a fake punt. And in looking at this scrimmage kick formation, we have 5 eligible receivers, not including the would-be punter. So we have the 2 players on the ends of the line of scrimmage that are eligible, assuming they have good numbers. And then we have the 3 up backs. So on this play here, we're going to get a direct snap to one of the up backs, and they're going to throw a complete pass down the field that's going to result in a first down. And if we go back, we can see that the player that catches it is on the left end of the formation. So this is a legal play, and this would result in a first down. The question to the officials would be, how are you planning on pre-gaming a play like this to determine how you're going to call out the eligible numbers? It's easy to do on a field goal or a try, but what is your mechanic on a play like this? And again, coaches, we just ask that you're honest with us in the pregame meeting and let us know about any special plays or formations. So again, one of the reasons why we ask coaches during our pregame meeting about any special plays or formations is to prevent them from running a play that could otherwise be illegal. And we're going to see a play here that we see a lot. We had a play like this last year in the clips of the week, and we're going to see a play here in which the quarterback turns to the sideline, raises their hands as in a what are we doing type question. We're going to see it from the receivers as well. And then we're going to get a direct snap to the running back. Now, the crew that worked this game sent this play to us after the fact for review. And they indicated that nothing was said by the coaching staff or the players on the field. However, That does not matter. This type of play is illegal. Any actions or verbiage designed to confuse the defense into believing there's a problem and that the snap is not imminent is beyond the scope of sportsmanship, and this is illegal. It's under Rule 991. Officials, we'd invite you to look at Casebook Play 991, Situation B. Now, this play did go off. The crew did discuss this after the fact, and they let it go. However, this should have been a penalty. This play would have been canceled. We would enforce the penalty and replay the down. The penalty for a play like this is an unsportsmanlike foul, and it is assessed to the head coach. So we would enforce from the previous spot, 15 yards. If you're able to reset the time, that would be great. But again, any actions or verbiage designed to confuse the defense into believing there's a problem and the snap is not imminent, again, that's beyond the scope of sportsmanship, is illegal, and it's an unsportsmanlike foul assessed to the head coach. So with the playoffs coming up, games are of the utmost importance, and we just want to make sure we have good game situation awareness. Now, the film on the next couple of clips isn't the best, but they illustrate this point pretty well. On this play here, we have a 4th down and long. We have a scrimmage kick, and we're going to get an illegal block below the waist by the right guard. We get the punt off, and the return team is going to return this. But now we have a foul by the kicking team on a scrimmage kick. So at the end of this play, and we're discussing this, we can go to the coach to ask them what they would like us to do. So the coach here has a couple of different options. So they can have that illegal block below the waist enforced from the previous spot. This is a loose ball play. Or there is an exception because this is a kicking play, and they can choose to take this from the succeeding spot. So 15 yards would be enforced from the end of the return. It's important to know as an official what all the options are and explain that to a coach. Depending on the game circumstance, they may choose to have this enforced from either spot. Now, in full disclosure, I was the center judge on this game, and when we went to the coach, they actually had this enforced from the previous spot. It was a super rainy night. Teams were having difficulty with snaps on punts all night, so the coach felt that was in their advantage. We gave them both options, and that's what they chose, and that's our job to do. So good game situation awareness. Make sure you slow down and go through all the options as a crew before you go to the coach. This is another clip in which game awareness is important. So what we're going to see here is that it is 3rd and 4 from the offensive 33-yard line. So the 37-yard line is the line to gain. And we're going to get a scramble by the quarterback here, and they're ruled down at the 38. But let's watch our line judge here. Rather than killing the clock, they wind it. Our referee signals 1st down. The center judge goes to spot the ball, and our referee is winding the clock. Let's go back and watch this again. So again, as a line judge here, let's have good game awareness. It's 3rd and 4. There's 1:40 or so left in the game. The team on offense is trailing by 10 points. Of course, they're going to want to go hurry up. They're going to want to probably preserve their timeouts, and we know the clock's going to stop with a 1st down. The line judge is primary on that. This is not a play that goes outside the numbers, so there's no need to signal winding the clock. What this official should do as soon as this runner is down is kill the clock, and there's 1:33 on the clock. This is when the clock should be stopped. But we're going to notice here is the clock continues to run. And then it pauses at about 1:26. No one on screen ever kills the clock. Perhaps the back judge has done that, but it pauses for about a second, and then the clock starts running again. And yet the center judge doesn't have the ball down. Now, normally we don't worry about that so much. When the ball is near that area, we're going to go ahead and wind it. But in a situation like this, let's get the ball down and let's get our center judge out of harm's way before we wind the clock to make sure that they're safe, because the team is likely to go with a hurry up play. Now, this team eventually calls a timeout, but there's as much as 13 seconds here that elapsed that should not have, between the line judge not killing it and us winding the clock before the ball is spotted and our center judge is out of the way. So a couple last clips for this episode. And the first one is just another reminder of the point of emphasis about hits on defenseless players. The crew here does an excellent job on this play. We're going to get a pass that is caught by the receiver, and the defender does not wrap up, use open hands, or make a play on the ball. And we're going to get 2 flags here for a correct call for a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on a hit against a defenseless player. Now, because this was caught and then we have the foul, we're going to enforce the penalty 15 yards from the end of the play. Excellent job by this crew. The last play we're going to look at, I did get permission from the official involved. This is a play in which we have an official who's going to get hit very hard. Notice here that we're kicking from the 25. There was a penalty after a score and it was enforced on the kickoff. So if we get a ball that goes out of bounds, we really only care about the spot of that if it were to go out of bounds in advance of the 50. If this ball were to go out of bounds, most likely the offended team is going to choose to have that ball put in play at the 50-yard line, 25 yards in advance from the free kick line. Or they may take it 5 yards from the 25 and have them re-kick at the 20. Otherwise, if the ball goes past the 50, the ball going out of bounds at that point really doesn't matter. We've also talked a lot this year about positioning on kickoffs. And again, we highly encourage wing officials to start 5 to 10 yards deeper than the kicker can kick. This allows the action to get in front of you. It allows you to officiate this like a running play. And it also helps keep you out of harm's way. And with that said, let's look at this play, and we're only going to show it once. Now, I've spoken to this official a couple of times. I'm happy to report that they are doing well. They're certainly sore. This official wasn't able to finish the game, but I am, again, happy to report that they are doing well. And what he said to me is, I'm happy that you're using this clip because if it helps us get better, then I'm happy to do it. And again, we just encourage wing officials to work deeper than the kicker can kick to make sure that you can officiate the play better and stay out of harm's way. Well, that's it for this week's Clips of the Week. Good luck to all of the schools and officials in this week's playoff games. We'll be back with one more episode this year. As always, all rules are from Oregon SRI Kevin Hatfield. If you have a clip that you'd like to share with us, you can use the email address on the screen or send it to your local association. Good luck this week.